Hey guys, I can't find the comment anymore, but a few videos ago, someone was asking about, what do you do when you feel intimidated, when you walk into a rehearsal room and everyone's older than you or you don't know anybody. I swear, I'm pretty darn sure you guys delete some of your comments. Please don't do that because I am a slow thinker. The questions you guys ask are actually pretty tough. So I'm always spending time thinking about the stuff you say. And so when you guys delete them and I can't find them anymore, it's really sad. So don't do that. Please leave your comments up. Don't delete them even if you think they're stupid. I don't actually think they're stupid. Okay, so anyway, this comment that was unfortunately deleted reminded me of my first times walking into rehearsal rooms. The first time I remember feeling really intimidated was when I was promoted into the symphony orchestra division, which is the highest division of my local youth symphony in my hometown where I grew up. When I went in, I remember there's this really beautiful flutist sitting in the principal chair. I thought she was just the picture of elegance. She had this lovely head of curly hair. I have stick straight hair, so whenever I see curly hair, I kind of have a hairgasm. I mean, it doesn't hurt that my boyfriend has kind of curly hair when it grows out. But anyway, look, the way that she talked, she was so soft and gentle. She was like an elf. She was quite a bit older than me. At that point, I was 12, 13, and she was at least 16 or 17. And I just felt like, oh my gosh, she's just so much more grown up than me. She's probably gonna think I'm useless, that I'm just a little girl playing around. I was afraid that I would annoy her. It did not turn out to be that at all. I remember one time, it was the first time that I had ever encountered multiple bars of rest. Basically, instead of writing out all of the bars of rest, composers will just put the number of bars that you should count through. I felt a little stupid kind of poking her and asking her what it meant. She actually turned to me and was like, I actually don't know what it means either, but how about we go ask? That was just the best feeling ever, that she was humble enough to just admit to me that she didn't know what it was, and instead of lashing out at me or anything, she was just like, let's go ask together. So we actually both approached the conductor and asked him what it meant, and then of course he explained it to us and we're like, oh, right. Her doing that just made me feel like she was a human, that she understood me, and it kind of made all the feelings of intimidation go away. I didn't feel nervous around her anymore after that. The second huge time that I felt really intimidated in a rehearsal room was when I had just gotten into the Vancouver Academy Symphony Orchestra. I've told this story on this channel before, but in case you're new, the gist of it is that I was 14 years old when I auditioned for this, and prior to this I had only been in that first youth orchestra that I just mentioned. The first day that I walked into the first rehearsal, my parents are actually coming with me. They found the classroom for me at the Vancouver Academy of Music. I walked in. Everybody I saw were at least in their early 20s. Now for a 14-year-old, that is at least a 6 to 7, if not 6 to 10 year difference. I regret saying this now because I am in that age range right now, but I remember when I was 14, I thought to myself, holy crap, everyone in here is old. And I turned around and I looked at my parents and I was like, we just went to the wrong room. They checked the room and they're like, no, Joe, you're in the right room. They physically turned me around and pushed me in. I'm this 14-year-old kid sitting in the middle of all of them because I was playing second flute, I think. I just kept thinking to myself, oh my gosh, all of these people are so much older than me. What the heck am I doing here? I felt like everyone must be looking down on me. I kind of felt like a baby next to them. I really didn't feel like I fit at all. So because of that, I didn't play a single note in the first rehearsal. Nothing. No air traveled through my flute. As each rehearsal went on, I noticed that the two ladies next to me, they started to kind of help me along. They would point at my music where I needed to pay more attention to. I actually kind of like watched what they wrote in their music. That's actually how I learned rehearsal notes shorthand. I might make a video about that one day. And then after a while, that finally we started to talk a little bit more. What happened to us and how our day was and blah, blah, blah. I actually also learned a lot of social etiquette from them too. As a 14-year-old kid, you're really awkward because you don't really know how to talk to people professionally yet. But in that situation, it was actually a pretty professional situation, even though most of them were UBC students. By the time you're in music school, you're pretty much seen as like a pre-professional. It took me a long time to realize that they are humans just like me. It always takes time. The third time that I felt super intimidated was at my first orchestra rehearsal in music school. It was really weird and awkward for me because I had sort of like two conflicting sides of my brain. One side was like, oh my gosh, I've made it. I've made it into music school. I am a music student. I am sitting in orchestra rehearsal and this is counting as class. This is class. This is school. Music is school now. I have made it. But then of course the other side of my brain was going, oh my gosh, I've made it. What the heck do I do now? All of the insecurities came back. I even started to ask myself, how does orchestra work? Like, has all of my previous experience with orchestra actually been legit? How am I supposed to behave? Am I supposed to behave differently here than in my previous experiences? Because this is now school, whereas everything else before that I've done was extracurricular. I don't know anything. And again, it just takes time. After a few rehearsals, you get to talking, you become friends. You're all actually in it together, but none of us like to admit that we feel this way. I just wanted to leave you guys with a few points just to kind of help you out a little bit more. It's what I've been saying for this entire video so far. Getting to know people on a human level really makes them much less scary. Who knows? They may also be scared of you. You really never know. First impressions are not necessarily very truthful. The second thing I want to leave with you guys is that if you happen to be the newest person there and there are a whole bunch of people in there that have been there for a long time, it's not really fair to compare yourself to them because they know how everything works. They know how the routine goes, but you don't. If you think of it more as learning from them rather than them thinking you're stupid if you don't know how to do something, that reframing just kind of helps you feel a lot better. And it actually helps you learn more too, because you're not so engrossed in yourself. You're more eager to learn about the material at hand. And number 3 is the other thing that I've been yapping about for this entire video, and it's that time will teach you how things roll. Let a couple of rehearsals go by. Just observe around you. Observe how people do things. Observe your fellow musicians' personalities. Like, you don't learn music immediately. You don't learn a routine immediately. You don't make friends immediately either. It takes time. Everything takes time. And I think a lot of times, no pun intended, we don't allow for time to play its own role. Be patient, but be eager. And so to draw this whole thing to a close, I made a point to remember these little stories that I told you in this video because I want to help you guys. Every time you're in a situation like this, eventually you will actually become one of the people who has been there for a while and already knows the routine. And when that happens, think about how you would have liked to be treated, or if fortunately you were treated very well while you were a newbie, pass it on. Pass on the goodness, pass on the kindness. It's all about paying it forward. So yeah, that is it for this video. If you guys have similar stories regarding feeling intimidated in the rehearsal room, please comment down below. Talk about how you dealt with it, what happened. Did you end up making friends with the people you were intimidated by? Let us know. We can all learn from each other. And as usual, if you guys like this video, make sure to give me a big thumbs up and hit subscribe for new videos every Saturday. My last video is over there, and if you want to catch me during the week, my social media network stuffs are down there. But otherwise, I will see you guys next week. Bye. I had just gotten into the Vancouver Academy Symphony Orchestra. It's still around. Maybe some of you watching this actually play in that orchestra. If you do, hello, I come from many years ago.